What happens when you land your first interview and the job should be in sight, but then you never hear back? Hi there, Tanya here. And congratulations, you've got the interview. That's amazing because to get there, it's a lot of work, it's a big feat. But here's the reality. 73% of qualified bilingual professionals make some critical mistakes that can cost them the job. In under 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that my clients and myself have used and shared to give you the best value and prepare for that bilingual interview. And also be a true bilingual professional and not a nervous applicant, student, etc. All right, let me share with you Mark's story. Now, Mark, he has 1 year left to go for his master's in digital marketing. He's from Lyon. He just spent a year abroad learning and perfecting his English. And he came back basically to find an internship. And his master's is also in digital marketing. And he decided to specialize a little bit more on the technical side, which is the SEO, the analytical part. And the internship, he needs an internship by September for 6 months onward. So, guess what? He got the interview and it went brilliantly. He explained how 40% of organic traffic increased to his tennis club, increased membership. He impressed the marketing manager and the team with his bilingual marketing insights and 40 minutes of pure connection, just bliss. And what happened at the end of the interview? Well, it went well. The manager said, "This has been fantastic. We'll be in touch." And so within 24 hours, Mark follows up with a simple generic thank you email saying, "Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you soon." Perfect. So what happens afterwards? A week passes by, 3 weeks pass by, and he gets a rejection email. The fourth week, he finds out that his classmate got that exact job at the same company. Ouch. And his colleague basically has less experience. What happened here? What's the difference? One strategic follow-up that made him unforgettable. So it was Mark. It cost Mark. It was a costly mistake for Mark. Absolutely, I'm not going to say it. But what happened was that talking like a student and asking for a chance, almost begging for a chance, can be harmful instead of having this mindset of handling this as a new professional. So that was a big wake-up call for Mark and a big learning step as well. Which brings me to the next step is basically what I call is the mindset. The mindset is called, and this is kind of my my way of saying it's professional mindset helmet. When you put this professional mindset helmet down, it will help you to be a professional, not just an applicant who's just going out there and just figuring it out. You have to stop thinking about please pick me and start thinking, is this the right mutual fit? Is this the right connection? You are assessing them as much as they're assessing you. It's one of these moments where you're really figuring out whether there's going to be a good professional alignment and working relationship. And your bilingual background is a strategic business advantage, not something accessory. It's not accessory, no. So while you have this professional mindset helmet on, we're going to go through 4 different kryptonite moves that I like to call. Yeah, kryptonite because bilinguals are third cultural individuals. There is a certain kryptonite move that needs to be uncovered and used. So the first kryptonite move is what I call using a method to answer questions. Now, this could be the STAR method, but here at TPTalks, I figured I use something that's called the CAR method. What is it? You explain the context, the action taken, and the result. All right. So let's see how this works. Let's take a question, more of a technical question. If they ask you, how do you stay up to date on your theme, on your job. So for the context, I'm going to say I follow news and updates in French and English from websites and blogs like X and Y. And action, well, I used new tips like AI, and I learned it in my class, in my master's program, to help my tennis club get more members. And the result, well, I understand the market better, and I am able to put this in French and in English, and we got 5 new members at the tennis club. You see how that worked? So you're really answering as a professional, not someone that's kind of like winging it. When you're winging it, you don't look like a professional, but preparing it and answering it with a mindset will look pretty interesting, pretty professional. Let's take a second question. It's a behavior question. Now, behavior questions, you get them because when a company wants to know who you are and how you react in certain situations, these questions are going to be a gold mine. So a question could be, tell me about a time you were in front of a challenge and how did you manage it? What did you learn from it? So here's another example. A supplier had issues and we had tight deadlines. That's the context. What was the action? I found new suppliers and kept everybody informed in 3 languages. And the result, well, we launched on time and we increased, sorry, not released, increased sales by 10%. Now that's an interesting and a powerful professional answer that will show the company that you are a true professional and ready to connect. Now, I'm not going to lie and hide. Now, there are going to be many different silly questions. If I didn't mention that, gosh, that would be a sin. However, when you have this professional mindset helmet on, these questions can be a little bit more manageable. So one question that my clients and I actually had myself is, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? So if we have this mindset on, and I keep on mentioning the mindset because mindset is everything. As a professional, you say, well, I'm a dolphin. I'm intelligent. I adapt across environments. Excellent cross species communication, exactly how I operate across cultures and exactly what you need for your project right now. So you see how I turned that around as a professional? Now, mind you, yeah, you've got a lot of these things, but if in an interview or in a course of the interview, this is the only silly question and everything else checks as okay, you shouldn't put that company or the job or the team or basically the job on the sideline and question it. However, if this is one out of many black points or red flags, then you proceed accordingly. Let's go to kryptonite move number 2. Handle concerns like a pro. Now, concerns are basically what companies have, and they ask questions as a concern, but reworded differently. How does this look like in real life? Where are you really from? Now, this question, although, will probably could mean, will you fit in our culture? Will you fit in our team? Will you fit just, will you fit? So a simple answer is, let me give you an example. Originally from Slovenia, lived in the US, now in France. Moving around helped me to adapt quickly, just what is needed for international work in your team. You see how I turned that around? I talked about myself, but in a short way and quickly linked it to the company's concern. Another question or another comment is, your resume is interesting. Yeah, I know this one is a doozy. But what can this mean? This can mean, can we understand your background a little bit more? Can you tell us about it? Well, a simple answer could be, and I'm going to take this one from Mark, I chose my studies in SEO, data, and global markets on purpose so I could solve the kind of challenges that your company faces. And let me give you an example, and then you can go into the tennis example that I just mentioned if need be. All right. Another example is, how do we know you won't leave? Now here, this is a trust question. Now, most companies or most HR managers will ask this simply because it is known that when newcomers come on board, that trial period of the first week, is very critical. And will you stay or will you go, and how you deal with this? Now, a simple answer could be, I really connect with your data first way of working. I've learned how to build strong relationships and stick with projects through the tough parts. All right. Now, when you're saying this, you're actually saying that you're going also be able to survive the tough parts, which there will be. So there you have it, your second kryptonite move for handling concerns like a pro. The third one is position your bilingual skills as a business asset and not as an accessory. Never say, oh, I happen to speak some French and Spanish and Mandarin and whatnot. Always say, I can access French markets. I can access South American markets, serve international clients, connect communication between global teams, global partners. Put it into context. Market expansion credibility is so important. Do not belittle your languages and just say this is a nice to have skill as an accessory. Put them into context. And the fourth and the final kryptonite move is always follow up. It's the professional standard. It really shows the true professional that you are. It's a non-negotiable rule. Every interviewer gets a strategic follow-up. Now, we all know that within 24 hours, there's going to be a thank you note, which is about saying basically thank you. You reference a conversation piece that you talked about that you remember that really connected you both there, and an insight. So for example, you can say, hi, Sarah, thinking about our talk on analytics goals for Q4. Here's a French market case study that might interest you. And there you put a lot of value because you add on and you show that you're a solution provider. And then you end it with looking forward to contributing. Kind regards. All right, that's within 24 hours. Now, let's say after a week or two, you don't hear anything, which is completely normal because for some or most professional professional recruiters, sorry, I got my tongue tied today. Basically, 1 to 2 weeks can seem like a day's work. So what you want to do here is look at this from the perspective, the mindset of it's a professional check-in with continued interest, and you want to find out how that job position is opening. You're basically prospecting here because this job search is kind of like a prospection mode. You're really being an active participant in your job hunt. Even if you get rejections, graciously follow up and ask for feedback. And then absolutely do not forget to connect them on LinkedIn, reiterating your thank you, that you really enjoyed meeting them, that you're happy for them, that they found someone that matched, and that you look forward to chatting in the future, because that's what separates professionals from non-professionals. All right, this is important because even though today that rejection letter is saying no, tomorrow that may change, because remember what I said a while ago, that that trial period, a lot can happen. People can stay or not, and if they don't, and if you are on the radar, you will most likely have a good chance to be called. So keep this in mind. Really continue. You're not bothering. A lot of my clients say, oh, I'm going to bother them. I'm just going to send them an SMS. You can send an SMS, send an email, but also call. Pick up the phone and call, and reach out and touch someone, and call, because that's what shows how a real professional is. So there you have it. To sum up, the short but quick live. Keep in mind the mindset helmet is going to be important, and the 4 kryptonite moves. Evaluate mutual fit. Do not seek approval or beg. Use a method to answer, be it a star or car. Respond with structured, result-focused answers. 3, address concerns directly. Be a confident problem-solving person and a professional. And 4, position bilingual skills as a business advantage, not just a nice to have. And finally, most importantly, always follow up strategically. Maintain professional relationship. Today's recruiter is tomorrow's client is after another week a supplier. Bottom line, your multicultural background isn't something to overcome. It's your competitive edge in this global economy that we have today. Remember, your international background isn't a hurdle. It's a competitive advantage. Yes, I'm going to repeat that because it's important. Companies need global perspective now more than ever, and mindset is everything. It will guide you. If you're more of a reader, I've got a complete guide on the bilingual interview right below. You can click below or head on over to my website at TPTalks to find out more. Thank you for joining me on this live today. If this was valuable, share it with someone who needs the support. Have a great day and see you next week for the last LinkedIn Live. Thank you. Bye bye.